All right. So today we'll be starting the CCNA course, and CCNA stands for Cisco Certified Network Associate. Then before jumping into the Cisco, we'll be seeing introduction about your Cisco company. Before going to the CCNA, we'll be studying about Cisco. Okay. So if you talk about your Cisco, Cisco is the worldwide leader in IT and networking. And why it is worldwide leader? Because 70 to 80% of the market in the IT and networking, it is acquired by Cisco. Then Cisco manufactures certain devices that helps the companies or the people to connect, communicate, and collaborate. The headquarters of Cisco, it is in San Jose, California. Okay. And the founders of Cisco were Sandy Lerner and Leonard Bossek. These were the founders. Then if we talk about the products Cisco is creating, Cisco creates routers, switches, firewalls, IP phones, wireless access points, and wireless control. Cisco also develops softwares for IT and networking. So deals in both hardware and software. So if I give you general introduction about what are the routers, switches, firewalls. So the routers, anybody ever heard about the router before? Because I think most of people coming from computer science background. So anyone would like to tell me anything about the router?
The router is a device which connects to different networks.
Two different networks. Exactly. So most of you people might be having a fiber connection in your home. Okay. And with the fiber connection, you get a device that helps you connect to the Wi-Fi and also to the LAN network. So that particular device, you call it as a Wi-Fi router. And that device connects you to the internet. Now, this particular device, it is providing you a wireless range, as well as it has some ports through which you can connect certain devices like your laptops and PCs. Okay. So maybe you are connecting your smartphone through the Wi-Fi, or maybe you are connecting a device like your PC or laptop through the cable. So here, there are two different types of networks. One that is in your local area, means that is in your home. You are connecting the devices. If we talk about network, first of all, so network is nothing, just the interconnection of two devices. You take two computers and just connect them with a cable, and they will be in the network. So the interconnection of these two devices, it is the network. When two devices are interconnected with each other with the help of any media, whether it is physical or wireless, okay, either wired or wireless. So that is network. So here there is one network, and this side also there are two devices. So this is one network. Okay. Generally, the local network, the network at your home, you call it as a local area network, LAN. And the other side, going to the internet, it is known as WAN, wide area network. Okay. Why? Because with the name itself suggests, if you see here, wide area network. Wide area means it is connecting to a large area. Okay. Devices over a large area are interconnected to each other. While this LAN, it is local area network. Means it is connecting devices in a small area. Is that clear? So your router, this particular device, it is responsible for providing the communication between these two different networks, from LAN to WAN and WAN to LAN. So general introduction about router, they will be providing communication or facilitating communication between two different networks. Okay. LAN and WAN, these are the examples, but any two different networks, then communication will be requiring a router. Okay. So you can say routers provide communication. There are certain more tasks, but communication between two different networks. Then next we have switches. So what is the task of the switches? A switch is also a device. And if I show you a switch, so this is how a switch looks like. So basically a switch is a device that is having a large number of ports, mainly 8 port, 16 port, 24 port, 48 port, like that. So there will be multiple ports in the switch. And what your switch is going to do, it is going to help connect multiple devices. Okay. In companies, you might have seen there are a lot of systems and they are able to communicate with each other. Why? Because all of these systems are interconnected with the help of the switch. Okay. Means if you want to connect a lot of devices, if you want to design a network, and in that network, you want to connect many devices, then you will need a switch. Okay. Means if we are talking about more than two devices, because two devices you can directly connect with a cable. If there are only two devices, you can just directly connect with a cable. But if the number of devices is more, then you will be going with a switch. Okay. So simply what your switch does, it connects multiple networking devices into the same network. Means it is providing communication between the same network only, in a single network only. Okay. So about switch, provide communication in the same network. Same network. Or you can say your switch connects multiple networking devices into the same network. Okay. Then we have firewalls. Now we have designed a network. We have a router here. Or this is your router connected to the internet. Then to connect multiple devices, you use the switch and you connected your systems. But is internet secure? Internet is the most unsecure network. Okay. There are a lot of hackers on the internet, as well as your ISP is looking to your data. Your government is monitoring your data. Okay. Means you are being monitored. So to prevent from monitoring, you use VPNs. Okay. But if you want to secure from hackers, because you will easily get hacked, then you use a security device to provide security to your network. And that security device will be firewall. Firewall helps secure your network by inspecting your traffic or by monitoring your traffic. Your firewall is going to check each and every data packet going from inside to outside and coming from outside to inside. In your firewall, you can create certain rules to allow a particular type of traffic or to deny a particular type of traffic. Okay. Like in your Windows system also, we are having firewall. Okay. If you remember. In Windows also, we are having firewalls. Okay. Right now it says connected, but this is being managed by my antivirus. So it will not be showing here. But in your firewall, you will be having certain rules. Okay. And those particular rules will decide whether what type of traffic should be allowed and what type of traffic should not be allowed. Okay. So firewalls are nothing, just the security devices. And if we talk about Cisco, in Cisco, we are having ASA, Adaptive Security Appliance. This is a Cisco firewall, and also FTD. Okay. FTP, no, FTD. These are the firewalls in Cisco. Then the IP phones. So phones, everyone knows, right? Phone, everyone knows, used for communication. But in enterprise, we use IP phones. Like your mobiles, they are having mobile number, landlines is having some landline number. So that particular number is basically the address of that particular phone. How to reach that particular phone, that is decided by the address. And that particular address, in case of our mobile phone, it is our SIM card number, mobile number. In case of our landline phones, it is the number. But in case of IP phones, it is the IP address. Okay. Means IP phones are communicating based on the IP addresses. So simply in enterprises, what you do, that you just dial the IP of a system or a phone and you get connected to that particular department. Like in hotels, you might have seen the EPBX system. You dial 1, it will go to the reception. You dial 2, it will go to cafeteria, like that. So these are the IP phones. Then we are having wireless access points. So what is wireless access points? It is used to create a wireless network. Like your switch, it is connecting multiple networking devices into the same network. Now, let's say you are having phone and also a laptop, and your laptop is not having the cable port or RJ45 port, or you can say Ethernet port. So how you are going to connect the laptop to the network? So you will be using the Wi-Fi. Okay. So for the Wi-Fi, we need a particular device, and that particular device is known as access point, and it is creating a wireless network. So basically it is known as wireless access point. This device is going to create a wireless network from a wired network. Okay. Your access point, it is taking the connection from wired network with the help of a cable, and then it is creating a wireless network. Now the wireless devices can connect to this. Your laptop, your phones, your tablets, they can connect to the wireless access point. And these devices, your phone, tablet, laptop, they will be able to communicate with each other. And they will also be able to communicate with the wired link. Okay, this is clear. So this is the role of wireless access point. So again, if you see in the case of switch, when we are connecting with the wires, they are able to communicate, means they are in the same network, because switch is providing communication in the same network only. So they are able to communicate, means they are in the same network. Similarly, your wireless access point, it is also connecting these devices in the same network. That is why these devices are able to communicate. We are not using router, right? If these are two different networks, we would need a router, because router only provides communication between two different networks. But right now, we are having a single network. So your wireless access point is used to create wireless LAN. or in short, WLAN. Okay. It is going to connect multiple networking devices in the same network wirelessly. Then we are having wireless controllers. So these wireless controllers are used to control these wireless access points. So how do these control the wireless access point, or why do we need these wireless controllers? So until wireless access point, is it clear? Clear to everyone? Online people, is it clear?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So now we'll be seeing about wireless controllers. So these wireless controllers, these are not used in a small company or enterprise. Okay, these are used where there are a lot of wireless access points. Mean number of wireless access points are large, because wireless access points, these will be having the configuration. So right now I'm taking an example. Let's say this is a company, and this company is having 3 floors. In this company, I want to design a wireless network. I want that my client should be able to connect wirelessly. So I'll be using access point. Now this particular access point is going to have some particular range. Means in a particular area only it can broadcast the Wi-Fi range. So to provide communication in the entire building or entire floor, let's say I'm using 4 access points on one floor. Similarly, I'll have to use 4 on the second also and 4 on the ground also. I have to use 4 each. So total how many? 12. Now let's say you are working in Cisco itself, and you have been assigned the task that, okay, you have to configure the Wi-Fi name Cisco, and the password should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the Wi-Fi you have to configure. This is the SSID and password you have to configure. SSID is what? Service set identifier, means the name of your Wi-Fi, the name which will be broadcasted. See here, you will go to this access point, you will configure it. Then you will go to the second access point, you will take the access, you will configure it. Similar process you will have to repeat again and again. Okay. Let's say you went to each and every access point, configured everything. Next day, you go to the company and they tell you, okay, now we need a guest network also. And again, the password is 1 to 8. Okay. You have to go again to each and every access point, configure it again. Next day, they will tell you, okay, today we are adding a new department. Again, you have to go. Or maybe they want to change the password. Again, you have to. So this is a lot of work, and there are chances of error, mistake, because when we are repeating the same task again and again, then we are supposed to make mistake, or we are prone to errors. So we might make some mistake. And if we make some mistake, let's say your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instead of it, on this particular access point, you configured it 5, 4, 6, 7, 8. So means this particular access point, no one will be able to connect to this. And when you will be asked, you will say, I have configured the same thing. Because by mistake, maybe you configured a mistake. Is it clear? Okay. So for solution of this problem, because we are repeating the same task again and again, and we are going to automate this task. So to automate this task, we are going to use the wireless controller, because these are the wireless access points. The wireless access points, there are 2 different types. One is the autonomous and one is the lightweight. So for wireless, we will be having a separate session. That time I'll be discussing about the access points as well as the controller. And also I'll be showing you with the practical that how we are going to configure them. Okay. Then in the server room or in a single central place, you will be placing a wireless controller. And this wireless controller will be connected to all the wireless access points. How? Same network. Let's design a small network again. This is connected to the internet router. Then you connected a switch. With the switch, you connected a wireless controller. In short, you will call it as a WLC, wireless LAN controller. Okay. And this is your switch. Then we have router, internet. With the switch, maybe you are providing connection in some departments, so you will be connecting some other switches. Maybe you are using some PC, so you will connect the PCs, as well as you will also connect the wireless access points to the switches. Means all of these devices, they will come in the same network. Now what will happen? These your wireless access points, as soon as they are powered on, they will communicate with the WLC. Okay. And your entire configuration, you will just do it on the WLC only. And only you have to do it one time. You have done the configuration, you have configured the SSID Cisco as well as the password. Now, as soon as the access point will be powered on, it will contact the WLC. Then the WLC will be providing them the configuration. The SSID, what should be the SSID, what should be the password, each and everything your WLC will be providing to the access points. So they will start broadcasting. Okay, doesn't matter how many access points are there. It depends WLC to WLC. They support multiple access points. Is it clear? Yes, please.
Can connect to the router directly?
Yes, can connect. But we want to connect multiple devices. Number of devices we want to connect, because your router will generally be having 2 ports, 4 ports only. Okay, and in case of enterprise routers, each and every port will be in the different network. Okay, each and every port will be in the different. Yes, please.
From the wireless controller, right? Set on and like it controls all of the
Access
wireless
points. Yes.
So couldn't you just configure from the wireless controller itself that it could do it?
Yes.
You could do that.
We'll be doing entire configuration. We'll be just be doing in the controller only, and these will directly contact to the WLC. We don't need to go to each and every access point again and configure them individually. Okay, we are just configuring them centrally from one single place. Is that clear? So any doubt in these devices? No? Online people? Yes, please.
So what is an SSID and what does it do?
SSID, service set identifier. This will be discussed in your wireless part, because we have separate complete session for wireless. Okay, SSID is nothing. Let's say when you start your Wi-Fi in your mobile, when you start your Wi-Fi and you check, you see some names. Those names are the SSIDs, the name through which your Wi-Fi is broadcasted. Okay. Now, like Cisco, we are having other vendors also that are designing the IT equipments or networking devices. So one is the popular Juniper Networks. It is manufacturing routers, switches, as well as firewalls. Then Palo Alto and Checkpoint, they mainly focus on the firewalls, security devices only. Okay, firewalls and your IPS, IDS, intrusion prevention system and intrusion detection system. Then Barracuda, you might have heard about this company. It is Seagate subsidiary for SSDs, HDDs. So it is mainly focusing on the security as well as storage and cloud services. Okay, so any doubt so far? No? Okay, then we'll be coming to the Cisco certification track. So these are the certifications in Cisco. So the entry level certification is your CCNA. When you want to come into the networking field, IT field, then you can start off with a CCNA. CCNA stands for Cisco Certified Network Associate. So right now the exam paper is CCNA 200-301. So this is the entry level course. In this course, you get the introduction to all the technologies like the wireless, the security of your network, as well as routers, switches, firewalls. You get introduction to this. So this is just the entry level. You will get the introduction. Then when you want to learn more about this, you can go with the professional. This is associate level. Next is the professional level. So in the professional level, you will deep dive into any of these. Means if you are choosing the, let's say you are choosing enterprise, CCNP enterprise, then you will be working with the routers and switches. If you choose CCNP security, then you will be working on the security and firewall concept. Okay, and also the VPNs you will be designing there. Wireless, this will be included in your enterprise. Then in your CCNP, in your CCNA, you write one exam. In your CCNP, you have to write 2 exams. Okay, one is the core exam. There are 2 papers. One is the core and one is the concentration. The core exam is mandatory. There is no option. In the concentration, you get some options. You get choice. You can choose any of the papers, like optional. You can, okay, elective is there. So you can choose any paper and you can write the exam. So there are 2 papers. If you write the core exam, you will get the specialist certification. Okay. If you write the core exam, you will get the specialist certification. And if you write core as well as the concentration exam, you will get the professional certification. Is it clear? Then next is the expert level, CCIE. In the expert level, you get deep dive into the most detail. Whatever you learn here you get it in more detail. Okay, because this is the expert level. In the CCIE, you will be having a lab exam, because until now these are the written exams only. In the CCIE, you will be taking a lab exam. Okay, this lab exam will be for 8 hours. You have to book a slot and then you have to take this exam. And for this, you also need the core exam. So if you have written the core exam in your CCNP, same exam will be considered in the CCIE. So once you have written the core exam, you can directly go for the lab exam and take your CCIE certification. Okay. About the fee, your CCNA, it is going to cost $300 plus tax. Your CCNP core exam is going to cost $400 plus tax, and concentration is going to cost $300 plus tax. And your lab exam, it is going to cost you $1,500 plus tax. Okay. And for going for the CCIE, you don't need to take, like, these exams are not mandatory. You can directly go for the core exam and then write the lab exam. That's it. And take your CCIE directly. Then after the CCIE, there is a CCDE certification, Cisco Certified Design Expert. Okay. This certification will be considered only after you have CCIE and a 7 to 8 years of experience. Then only you can go for the CCDE certification. So right now, the most demanding or most prestigious certification in Cisco is the CCIE. Okay. This CCAR, it has been retired. Cisco is not accepting any more applications for CCAR. Yes, please. In the CCDE also, you will be having a written exam and a practical exam. So right now, the highest, most achieved certification is the CCI. In the CCI also, we will be getting different domains like enterprise, security, collaboration, data center, like that, service provider. Is it clear? Certification track?
Yes. Question.
Yes, please.
With the CCNP core,
Mhm.
can that if I have a expired CCNP, can the core passing the core
Okay.
bring the activate the CCNP if it's expired?
These certifications are valid for 3 years. So within 3 years, you will have to write the lab exam. If you want to write the lab exam, so you have to write it before the expiry date of your existing certification. Otherwise, you will have to write the core again and then the lab. For CCNA also 3 years, CCNP also 3 years, CCIE also 3 years. Validity of the certification is only 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, like the one I have is already expired. If I take the core, would that activate my CCNP?
No, not just the core will not activate. You have to take the concentration also.
Okay.
Any more doubts? So Cisco has recently updated its certification track. So earlier, Cisco's in the CCNA also, Cisco was having like enterprise, security, data center, service provider, collaboration, and wireless. So if you are taking the CCNA enterprise, then you can go for the CCNP enterprise and CCIE enterprise only. Means CCI routing switching only. If you are taking CCNA security, you can go for CCNP security or CCIE security only. Means it was fixed. And for going for the CCNP, CCNA was mandatory. Okay, like that for CCIE, CCNP was mandatory. So if you consider, let's say this is $300 plus tax, and it was taking 1 month of duration for study. You have done the CCNA enterprise, but now your focus or your interest has shifted to the security. Maybe you want to go for CCNP security. So you cannot directly go for that. You have to take this. Again, you have to spend 1 month and $300. Then you can go for the CCNP security. So there was like the flexibility was not there. So Cisco, like people were not going for the certifications. Not a lot of people were going for the certification. If you are going, like there was no choice. If you want to go for CCNP enterprise, then you have to do the CCNA enterprise only. Okay. If you want to go for the wireless, then you have to go with the wireless track only. You cannot change between the track. But what happened now, recently in the 2020s, Cisco has updated the certification and combined all these certification into a single certification. Now, in your right now, the CCNA, what you're going to study, in that you will be having the part of enterprise also, security also, data center also, service provider also, collaboration also, and wireless also. So there was a big syllabus. So Cisco just took the introductory part from each and every course and modified this syllabus. So in the new syllabus of Cisco, we'll be mostly having the introductory part, but I'll show you with the labs also. We'll be doing practicals and we'll be showing you the labs.
That introductory course would be sufficient to pass the exam?
Yes, of course. We'll be covering everything according to the exam only. Okay. And also I'll be sharing the books also. Okay. The CCNA books I'll be sharing with you. So for further details, you can go through them also. So this is the new certification track where the CCNA is common for each and every track. You can choose the service provider track or data center or enterprise or security or collaboration. That is choice. But before, for each and every track, that was separate CCNA. But right now the CCNA has been common for each and every track. This is completely new track recently launched by Cisco, the DevNet track. It is based on the automation. Then right now, if you do the CCNA, you can go for the service provider CCNP or CCNP data center, enterprise, security, collaboration. In the collaboration, you deal with the voice and video. In the security, you will be dealing with the firewalls. In the enterprise, you will be mainly focusing on the routers and switches. In the data center, we'll be focusing mainly on the data center, like the data center architectures. What are the networks or how the networks are designed in the data centers? Then service provider, when you are working on the ISP side, then you will require CCNP service provider. Okay. So right now, most demanding and most, you can say, rewarding career is the CCI security. So for CCI security, the track will be CCNA, then CCNP security and CCI security. This is the track. But the recommended track is go with the CCNP, then CCNP enterprise, CCNP security, and then CCI security. So how this helps? You are going to provide security to your network. In your network, you will be having routers and switches. So you can provide a better security if you have in-depth knowledge of your devices about routers and switches. So means this is going to help you a lot. So if you have chosen the CCI security integrated course, then you will be going through CCNA, then CCNP enterprise, then you will be going through CCNP and CCI security, where you will be studying about firewalls. Is that clear? So any doubts in the certification track? No?
Question.
Yes, please.
So if I decide, I'm in the CCIE security, if I decide to go for routing and switch, CCIE routing and switching after concluding security,
Okay.
how back do I have to step?
Just write the NCORE paper, enterprise core exam for
So I don't.
enterprise, and then lab exam.
So I don't have to go back to CCNP level. I don't.
No need.
Okay.
Just the core exam and the lab exam.
Okay.
Okay. Any more doubts? No? Clear? Okay. Then this is about Cisco. So this is your course code 200-301. This is the exam cost, that is $300 plus tax. Duration will be 120 minutes and validity of the certification will be 3 years. Number of questions varies from 100 to 120. That is not fixed. Okay. It varies. And the passing score is approx 85%. So you have to score that much to take the CCNA certification. Is that clear? Okay. Yes, please.
Expired, is there any, like anything for renew or going to again?
Yeah, you can write the exam. No need to take the course, but exam you have to write again. Yes, please.
So let's say after the 3 years is done, like let's say I'm CCIE, but it's already been more than 3 years.
Okay.
Would I still have to write the exam again or no?
No. You can just go with the core exam and the lab exam only. Okay. For CCIE, no need to come back for CCNA or CCNP. You can write the core exam and lab exam and take your CCI again, renew your CCI.
But the core exam is done at the CCNP level, right?
Yeah, you can consider it at the CCNP or CCI because it is in both. Same exam is considered in your CCNP as well as CCI. Because when you are taking the CCIE, it will be considered in the CCI. When you are taking the CCNP, it will be considered in the CCNP. And alone your exam, alone your core paper, it will be considered as a specialist certification.
Is there a core exam for CCIE security or just lab?
Yes, it is. Let me show you. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So in your CCNA, you are having just one certification. Okay. But in your CCNP, these are the certifications. For each and every track, when you're going for the enterprise, there is NCORE. When you're going for the service provider, that is SP core, data center, DC core, security, S core, collaboration, CL core. So there is core paper for each and every track. And in concentration, you get certain choices. Like in the enterprise, you get 6 choices. In the service provider, there are 3 choices. In the data center and security, again, 6 choices. And in your collaboration, you get 5 choices. So out of these papers, you can choose any. That is up to you. But this is mandatory.
Okay.
These will be required only for your CCNP. If you want to go for the CCNP certification, you want the professional certification. If you are going for the CCI, just write this exam and go for the lab exam of CCI. See here.
Security. Okay.
You can see, like for enterprise, it is considering NCORE. Same NCORE paper is in the CCNP. For security, it is S core 350-701. So in the CCI security also same paper. So same paper is considered. Okay. And then you can write the lab exam. And that will earn you CCI. Is that clear?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any more doubts? No? Okay. Yes, please.
Collaboration, what type of knowledge is it?
Voice and video traffic.
Voice and video.
Mainly focuses on voice and video, like IP phones. Then we have the CCNA modules. So let me show you the official Cisco blueprint for this modules. So you will get an idea what we are going to study in the CCNA course. So this is the official exam blueprint for CCNA 200-301. It is a 120 minutes exam that we have seen already. So in your exam, you will get the 20% of portion from the network fundamentals. 20% you will be getting from the network fundamentals. In the network fundamentals, we'll be seeing what are routers, switches, firewalls, IPS, access points, controllers, like your WLC, what are endpoints and what are servers. The introduction about each and everything. Okay. Then next, we'll be going with the characteristics of network topology architectures. So what are the architectures or how the networks are designed? What is the topology? So there are certain topologies like 2-tier, 3-tier, spine and leaf, WAN, SOHO architecture, and on-premise and cloud. So we'll be seeing what are these architectures. Then we'll be seeing about physical interfaces and cable types. These are single mode fiber, multi-mode, copper. Then about the connection, what are the Ethernet connection? What are the point-to-point connections? We'll be seeing about PoE, power or Ethernet concept, where we deliver power through the networking cable only. We don't need to supply power separately. Like in your CCTVs, you might have seen, you don't see power cables attached to your CCTV cameras, right? Why? Because they are supplied the power with the help of the internet cable only. Then we'll be seeing what could be the possible issues with the interfaces and cables. Then TCP and UDP. These are the two communication protocols. We'll be seeing about them. IPv4 addressing and subnetting. We'll be discussing in detail about IPv4 private addressing. We'll be discussing public and private addressing part. And IPv4, it has finally almost exhausted. So we'll be seeing about IPv6 also. Okay, we'll be discussing about IPv6, what are the address types, and I'll be showing you about the routing also. Then IP parameters on client OS like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, how you're going to assign IPs and check IPs and all that things. Then wireless principle. This is the wireless part where we'll be discussing about, see here, SSID is also there. So about Wi-Fi channels, SSID, RF, encryption, all of these wireless principles we are going to discuss. Then virtualization fundamentals about virtual machines we are going to discuss, and we'll be starting with the switch. So this will be the switching concept. So this is the 20% portion. You're in your exam, 20% of questions will be from this part. The next 20% questions will be from the network access module. In the network access module, we'll be deeply working on the switches. We'll be seeing what are the VLANs, okay, what are access port, default connectivity. Then inter-switch connectivity we'll be seeing how we can connect more than 2 switches or 2 switches. So about the trunk ports, 802.1q native VLAN. Then we'll be seeing about layer 2 discovery protocols. There are 2 protocols, CDP and LLDP. We'll be seeing about those protocols. Then Ether channel. These are all the switch concepts. And this is STP, spanning tree protocol. Again, we have some part of wireless. So in single lecture, we will cover all the wireless part. We will not be studying according to the sequence in the module. I mean, in the blueprint. We have separately created each and every module, because in this blueprint, you will get some wireless topic in the beginning, some wireless topic in the middle, and some wireless topic in the end. So we have combined it all together. So in one session, we will complete it. Then again, we will be seeing about AP, WLC and all. Again, the AP and WLC management. Then we'll be configuring wireless LAN access for client connectivity using GUI. Means we will be doing practicals also for wireless. The major portion, 25%, will be from the IP connectivity, means mainly working on the routers. In here, we'll be seeing the concept about routers, what are the routing protocols, about the routing table, what is the prefix, network mask, next hop, all these things. Then we'll see how a router makes a forwarding decision by default. By default, how your router is going to forward a packet. Because we say router forward a packet from one network to another network. Provide communication between 2 different networks, right? So how does it make a decision? Okay, where I want to forward, how I'm going to forward, which path I'm going to use. So all these details. Then we'll be seeing IPv4 and IPv6 static routing. Okay, routing is what? We will tell the router, okay, how you are going to forward the packet. We will decide that. Okay. Then we'll be seeing about dynamic routing. In your dynamic routing, we have single area OSPF only, but there are other protocols also like RIP. This is obsolete, not used now. IGRP also, it is not used now. What we are using right now mainly is, one is your OSPF, one is EIGRP and BGP, and also one ISIS. These are the protocols right now mainly in use. Okay. Then we'll be discussing about first of redundancy protocol for gateway redundancy. Like in your computers, you might have seen there is something with like a default gateway. When you assign IPs, you might have seen something called as default gateway. So what if your default gateway goes down? If it goes down, you will lose connectivity to your internet. So how we can provide redundancy or backup for the gateway. So for that, we'll be seeing FHRP, first hop redundancy protocol. So this was all the major portion. Now we have some minor portion like IP services. In that, we'll be seeing about NAT, network address translation, which is mainly responsible that your IPv4 is still in use. Okay, your public and private concept is possible with the help of NAT only. Then NTP, network time protocol. It is used to synchronize time between all your devices, routers, switches, and all other devices. If you want the same time, then it will be done with the help of NTP. Then we have DHCP and DNS. We'll see how to configure DHCP and DNS in your network. Okay, DHCP, it is used for assigning automatic IP. Okay, if you want to assign IP addresses automatically to your devices, like when you connect to Wi-Fi, you automatically get the IP and you start using the internet. So that is possible with the help of DHCP. And DNS, it is responsible. Let's say you just go to the browser and say google.com and you start using the Google. Okay, but each and every device in the network is identified with the IP address. Means your Google is also running on some sort of IP address, but we don't know, we don't remember the IP address of Google, and we don't need to remember. Why? Because your DNS is helping. If DNS was not there, we have to remember IP address for each and every website we visit. Okay, and you can imagine how many IP addresses we can remember. Like how many phone numbers we hardly remember. We just save them in the contact book and forget. Correct? The same thing is here. So the DNS helps you use the internet by the names. We type names of all the websites. We say google.com, facebook.com, like this. Okay. Then next we have SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. So this is used for network management. Like if you want to manage your devices, routers and switches from a central place, then you can go with the SNMP. So it is basically for monitoring and configuration. Then we have syslog. If you want to monitor again, so syslog is only for monitoring. SNMP is for monitoring as well as configuration. Okay. Again, DHCP, client and relay. This I will explain when doing the practicals only, because client is what receiving the automatic IP. Relay information right now you will not understand because we don't have the base. Then we have QoS, quality of service, where we prioritize one type of traffic over other type of traffic. Okay, because in our companies or in our network, different type of traffic is traveling. Maybe audio traffic traveling, maybe video traffic traveling, maybe other data traffic is traveling. So at some point of time when there is a lot of congestion in our network, so that particular point of time, what type of traffic is most important to us, which communication should not stop, that will be decided with the help of QoS. Then remote access using SSH. So SSH is a protocol, and also one more protocol is there, Telnet. So Telnet and SSH, these are the two protocols used for remote access of your devices. Because usually if you take a router or a switch, you have to go to that particular device, take the access with the help of a cable, and then do the configuration. But every time again, you cannot go there. With the help of these protocols, you can just sit in a place and take the access anywhere in the network. If you are sitting anywhere in the network, you can just take the access of the devices using these protocols. Then describe the capabilities, FTP and TFTP. So FTP, it is mainly used for data transfer, files uploading and downloading. So we will be using FTP and TFTP for backup and restore. Backup and restore. So we'll be taking backup of the router and switch configurations, and we will be restoring them. Okay. And also the iOS image, operating system of your routers and switches. So this is just the 10%. Then we have security fundamentals containing 15%. So in this, you will be seeing some security concept like what is threat, vulnerability, exploit, mitigation techniques and all. Then security program elements, like you can go for user awareness, you can provide training to your users, physical access control. You can control the physical access, means not providing physical access to each and every person in the company. Then we can control access using local passwords. We can set password on the devices and we can control the access. And we can apply some password policies like complexity, okay, or we can password alternative like multi-factor authentication certificate or biometric authentication. Then we'll be discussing about VPN also. So this VPN, it is used to prevent or secure our privacy in the internet or online. Means it is going to provide you security over the unsecure network, because by default, your government, your ISP, they are all monitoring your data, what you're doing. So if you want to prevent your privacy, then you have to use VPNs. Okay. So we'll be discussing about VPNs. Also the access control list. Access control list, mainly we'll be focusing on what type of traffic we will decide. We'll tell the routers and switches, okay, what type of traffic to allow and what type of traffic not to allow. Then layer 2 security features we'll be discussing. These are the switch security features. So what are the security features you can configure in the switch? Then we have AAA concept, authentication, authorization, and accounting. Okay. So what is authentication? Verification of user if the user is correct or not. Authorization, defining level of access, how much access that particular user has. Means if a user is accessing your router or switch, so what are the things he can access? He can do the configuration or just check the configurations. So that is the authorization. Accounting, it is keeping record of each and everything. Means what time the user logged in, how long he was logged in, what was the duration, what were the commands the user executed. So each and everything will be recorded in the accounting. Then we will secure the wireless network with the help of WPA, WPA2 or WPA3. These are the wireless security protocols, and we will configure a wireless LAN using WPA2 also. Okay. So this will be under the practical what we will be doing in the wireless part. Then we also have some part of automation, introduction to automation. So what is automation? Automation is again, like if you consider my old example about WAPs and WLC. So before we have to go to each and every access point and do the configuration. That was manual task. Now we automated that task by using the WLC. We don't have to go to each and every device and configure it manually. Correct? You just configure it in the WLC and the devices will automatically receive the configuration from the WLC and it start broadcasting. Is it clear? So this is about automation. So we'll see how automation impact your network management. What is the difference between traditional network and controller-based networks? So traditional network means individual devices. Controller-based network means you are using a controller that is controlling all the devices. Okay. Then we'll be defining controller-based and software-defined architectures. What are the control plane, data plane, northbound and southbound APIs? So these are the things right now. If I'll start speaking because this will be going a bouncer only because we haven't discussed anything yet. So this is just the curriculum or blueprint. So these are the things we are going to discuss in your CCNA. Right now, it might be seeming like, okay, this is a lot of stuff to cover up. But by the end of this session or after the end of this session, if you will check this blueprint, you'll say, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done, and this is done. Okay. These are just the introduction part. So I'll try my best to give you all the best knowledge. Okay. And we'll be going through this course. Is it clear? Okay. So this was the blueprint. Any doubts in the blueprint? No? No one is having a doubt? Okay. Then the time duration. So for CCNA, we'll be having 1 month duration. So we'll be having classes for almost 5 weeks, Monday to Friday. Then for CCNP, it is 3 months duration because in your CCNP, let's say if you are studying enterprise also, then you will be studying CCNP routing, switching, and advanced. So it will take time, almost 3 months. And then for your CCIE, it will be around 4 months. Is it clear? Then entire practice we'll be doing in the Cisco Packet Tracer. This is a tool provided by Cisco itself. Okay, for practice. So entire practice we'll be doing in the Cisco Packet Tracer. And if you are a CCIE student, then one is your packet tracer. So it is sufficient, more than sufficient for CCNA. And further for CCNP and CCIE, you will be using GNS3 and EVNG. These are softwares we are going to use. So for online students, we'll be doing on these softwares only. And offline students, I'll be taking you to the lab by next week. Okay, once I have completed IP addressing and some part of routing, I'll be taking you to the lab. And there I'll tell you how you're going to access the devices and how you're going to work on the devices. Okay. Once that is done, you can directly go to the lab after each and every topic. Whichever topic you want to practice, you can go to the lab and the lab trainers, they will help you with the lab. So if you get a doubt, you can directly get in touch with your lab trainers. They will clear all your doubts. Okay. And if any doubt you get anytime, we'll be creating a WhatsApp group. So you can drop in the group and I'll be helping you. Okay, so this is all for today from my side. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask me, or else I'm done for the day. Online people having any doubts?
No, Ajay.
Okay. Yes, please.
Is the exam written online or is it in person?
Exam?
Yeah, is it online? Like, do you do it online at home?
Yeah, you can take from home also.
Or is it in person?
From home also and from center also. You can do. You have the selection option. You can choose.
So the exam question will be like MCQs or
MCQs. So is it clear? Clear to everyone?
Is it MCQ for CCIE also?
No. CCI lab exam is there, right? 8 hours.
No, not lab exam. The written one.
There is a certain type of question like MCQs, drag and drop, situational questions. They will give you a situation and they will put up some questions and you have to answer them.
for the core?
Yeah, core exam. In the,
Any level it is?
yeah, any level. MCQs and similarly drag and drop that type of questions. Okay, if you see your book, let me show you book also. This is all about certifications. This is the old certification. See, for CCNA, they were having collaboration, data center, routing, switching, wireless, security, service provider, and all. And then accordingly, you have to choose the CCNP and CCIE. And this is the new certification track, where CCNA is common and you can choose any. This is the type of questions. Drag and drop, testlet, multiple choice, single choice. Okay, they will give you multiple choice and they will ask you a single answer. They will give you multiple choice and maybe more than one answer. Okay, drag and drop question can be there. Testlet can be there. Means they will give you one scenario with multiple choice questions. Okay, simulate.
In the exam, they will mention that this
Yeah.
multiple answers.
There will be there. And this is how you can take your exam. Everything is there in the book. Okay, so you can take refer to the reference of the book and you can check out.
Everything will be email source.
Not email. I'll be putting everything in the drive. Whatever presentations I'm using, the class recordings, as well as let me show you the drive also, so you can see what are the things you are going to get there. All the study materials related to our course, I'll be uploading in the drive. So there will be like these two folders, videos and documents. In the videos, you will receive all the videos. In the documents, there will be certain folders like for books, device plan, packet tracer lab. Means if we are doing some lab and I need to provide you, so I will be providing you in this. Then Paint, I'll be taking help of Microsoft Paint to explain certain topics. So those particular Paint files also I'll be saving them and sharing in the drive. After that, all the practice questions, if I have to provide some practice questions to you, so they will be there, and all the presentations. And by the end of the course, I'll be sharing you interview questions also. Okay. So regarding CCNA, each and everything, like what will be the labs we will be doing? What are the labs? What are the topologies will be doing? So all the labs will be there. What are the configuration commands? Each and everything regarding each and every topic will be there. So you can refer to the drive and take access to everything. Okay. So is it clear? 2 new students have joined, right? Yes. What are your names? Everyone in online has shared me the details, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, guys. Then I'm done for the day. So we'll meet tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Okay. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.